We gotta go inside and film the video. Come on. Come on, pretty. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Lori's Boston Found, where thrifted is the new black. My name is Lori. I am a full-time reseller on the Poshmark app and on eBay. I also have my own website, lorisbostonfound.com, where I sell items at a lower cost and lower shipping price for you. If you are new here, welcome. I am so happy that you found me. I release videos every Wednesday and every Sunday. I do a lot of haul videos. Sometimes I'll take you with me thrifting. I do these what sold videos once a month, and they're loaded with information about my sales. I am filming this video June 13th of 2020. We are currently in phase 2 in the state of Massachusetts, so I am able to go shopping again. We've been home for some time, and so with that said, I have some extra content. So I think I'm going to be releasing more than 2 videos a week, but you might want to subscribe. And then after that, hit the bell notification so that if I do upload a video on an off day, you won't miss it. At any point, if you're enjoying this video, if you hit that like button, it would make my day. It means so much to me. And do leave a comment. I try to respond to every single person who leaves a comment. I appreciate the comments. I learned from people. So thanks so much. And let's get into this video. Every month, I like to reflect on my sales and see how I did and compare to how I did the previous month and kind of look at what might be factoring into why my sales either went up or went down. So for the month of May, my sales actually were lower than they were in the month of April. And I attribute that to a couple things. One is I wasn't listing quite as much. 2 is I shifted my focus a little bit. If you remember, I offered a promotion for my consulting. I do offer closet consultations and coaching. And for the month of May, to kind of kick this off, I offered $25 per session. So that filled up and I had 18 appointments in the month of May, which doesn't seem like a ton given that there are 31 days in the month, but it definitely took some of my focus. I developed a questionnaire for people to answer. I spent a lot of time reviewing closets, and it just was like a chunk of my day, a couple days a week. And we also had stuff going on at home. It was Angie's last formal day of school. Anthony went back to Penn State for the summer, so we had some family stuff going on. My dad had surgery, so I definitely took a little bit of time for personal stuff. So I think that all factored into where my sales landed for the month. In the month of April, my sales were over $4,300 just on Poshmark. And in the month of May, my total sales were $2,879 on Poshmark. And then they were a little over $150 on eBay. I had 3 sales on eBay, which is up from 1 sale in the month of April. Or maybe I had 2 in the month of April. But anyways, I am cross-posting a lot. And I also think that that is contributing to why maybe my focus hasn't been 100% on Poshmark. I'm cross-posting more to eBay. I listed 2 items on Mercari, which I never thought I would do, at least not like anytime soon. They haven't sold yet, but I'm like, I'm just gonna play the Mercari game for a little bit, so I need to list more over there. So like I said, my total sales for the month were $2,879 on Poshmark and about $150 on eBay. So that tipped me just over $3,000 in sales in the month of May. That does not include any of my direct sales that maybe I did a haul and sold directly to people through my website. In total, I had 98 orders. And of those 98 orders, 9 of them were bundles. My average selling price per item is where it always lands. I think it just must be because this is what I send offers for, and this is where I always land. But as per usual, I was at $29.38, very close to my typical $30 per item goal. 98 orders, 9 of those were bundles. So in total, including the number of items that were in my bundles, I moved 119 items this month, which is definitely lower. I think last month I was over 150. So I just got to keep moving, keep moving. My average bundle size was 3.333 items, and the average selling price per bundle was $75.22. My bundles accounted for $677 worth of my sales. Another thing that I didn't have this month that I had last month is I didn't have any of my Lori's Boston Found, my LBF bundle boxes, which I sold for $30. My LBF boxes are just 5 to 7 pre-owned items, usually a little bit lower end like Old Navy or mall brands, or just items that I don't think are going to move quickly on Poshmark. So I put them in a bundle box and I sell them for $30. So I did a big promotion for those last month, and that was over $650 in sales in the month of April that I didn't have this month in May. But my bundles were still a big part of my sales, and I talk about bundles a lot because I really think that they help my business. I love that a lot of my bundles go to repeat customers, and I love that people can find enough items in my closet that they can bundle together and then get a good price on them and save on shipping. I usually offer 30% off bundles of 3 items or more, unless it's a brand new item or a really high value item or an item that I paid up for. But generally, I advertise that my bundles are 15% off, but typically I'll go between 20 and 30% off a bundle, sometimes even more depending on the items that people put in a bundle. During my What Sold videos, I like to go over categories. And if you have been watching me for a while, you know what most of my categories are, but I don't always do the same ones every week, every month. But this month, I am going to cover my top sales. So I have 8 items that sold for over $50 that I'm going to talk about and give a little story behind each one. I have fast flips, a few items that were listed for like under a week and they sold, and why I think they sold so quickly. Some surprises. So there's always things that sell that surprise me, whether it's what it was that sold that surprised me or price that surprised me. So I like to talk about surprises every once in a while. And of course, my By Felicia section. By Felicia is a section that I designate to those items that I am dying to get rid of, that I'm so happy that they're gone. So I have to get a By Felicia shirt. A couple people have tagged me in posts with By Felicia clothes, and I have to get one to wear for my next What Sold video. I need to order one. Then I'll give a little bit more detail about different categories. Let's start with what sold for a lot of money, because that's always fun to know. We'll start from the lowest and go to the highest. So the first one that I want to mention is this Eileen Fisher vintage maxi dress in like an evergreen color. This sold for $55. What's interesting about this is when I first got it, I listed it for $75, and within a day, I got an offer for $55. And I countered. Regrets. I countered, and I think I countered at like 65, kind of in the middle, and then they declined. And then it sat there for several weeks. I mean, I purchased this before quarantine, so probably in February or March. I wish I had taken that first offer. It ended up selling for the same price, but I had it listed. It had several likes. I sent out several offers. I think I got a couple offers for the $40, $45 range, but then I didn't accept those because I was mad at myself because I had missed the $55 mark. I ended up relisting this item, and then either I sent an offer or somebody sent me an offer for $55, and I jumped on. I think I paid $10 for this item. I paid up a little bit for it, but given that it was 100% linen, it was a beautiful vintage piece in excellent condition. I was very excited about that. So I was happy that that finally sold. And the moral of that story is if you get a really good, reasonable offer right off the bat, just take it, especially when you first list something. That is something I'm trying to work on within my business, and just accept those lower offers and just get things moving, because I just love to shop. So get stuff out the door. Next item are these Felmini leather booties. These were absolutely beautiful. I believe they sell this brand at Anthropologie, but I did not list it as an Anthropologie brand. These were made in Spain, absolutely beautiful, and they sold for $60. These were new to me brand. This is something that I picked up based on style and quality. And anything that's made in Europe, I always take a good look at, because usually European brands tend to be higher quality. So I was really excited with that sale. There were a couple brands that were new to me that sold for really good money and that I purchased based on quality. Always keep an eye out for quality, even if you don't know brands. If you know quality, then you can still do pretty well with resale. Moving up the chain here, the next item that I'm going to show, I'm going to show 3 items together. Well, really 2, because one was a duplicate item. As you know, I recently purchased a Peloton. I've been getting some referral credit for apparel, and I have all the apparel that I need. So I've just been selling some of the apparel that I've gotten from Peloton, and it's actually been resulting in a lot of sales for me. So I'm very grateful. I sold this Lululemon Peloton bra for $58, and it sold very quickly. If you know the Peloton brand or if you shop their apparel, it sells out really, really fast. If you're able to get something that's in high demand, it sells pretty quickly on other platforms because it's hard to come by. Even on the Peloton site, it sells out really quickly. And then I sold 2 of these Peloton hoodies, respectively. One sold for $60 and one sold for $70. I've been using an app called Seller Insight, and it's really this wonderful app that tells you all of your stats. I put out $54.50 in discounted shipping. So that's what it cost me over the course of the month. So my good friend Sarah Stiles also sells a dashboard for your inventory and for your sales reports, and it gives a ton of insight as well. And I believe Sarah is running a special on her Etsy page, so I will link that below. So I've used both. They're both super helpful. For this month, I did use the Seller Insight app. I believe it costs $39 or $49 as a one-time fee. So I love getting information. I'm not the best at extracting the info on my own. So these other dashboards are really helpful for someone like me. So that's where I got the $54.50. Seller Insight told me that that's what I gave out in discounted shipping. So moving past the Peloton stuff, this sale was really exciting. I could also put this in the surprise category. So I've had these True Religion jeans for a while for men, and they were pretty funky. I mean, I don't know that True Religion is like the same caliber as it used to be, but there's still really a following for it. So these sold for full price for $75. And I was so excited. In fact, I had 2 True Religion sales this month, and they were both men's. I am definitely going to keep my eye open for men's True Religion items because they actually sell pretty well for me. I think I have like a 75% sell-through rate on True Religion. But anyways, these sold for $75. And then I sold a pair of sweatpants that sold for $45. It also landed in one of my 8 items that sold. Oh, I should also mention, I guess I'll do 9 items because also for $75, and this was also a pretty quick flip. I sold this Diane von Furstenberg silk dress that I picked up like one of my first sourcing trips out when I drove to New Hampshire, and I went to that very overpriced Savers. I did find this dress. I paid up for it. I think I paid $9 or $10 for it. I listed it for $125 on both platforms, and I received a $75 offer for it on eBay really fast. So this was a fast flip. It was one of my highest priced items for this month, and it was also a surprise. So it hits a couple categories. So I also want to mention that it did sell on eBay. So next up, going up the chain, oh, this one was really exciting for me. I received an offer on this. I think I had this priced a little over $100. I couldn't find many of these listed, but this Carlton Fisk jersey, this Red Sox Carlton Fisk jersey, I found at Savers. It was like $6.99 and then 20% off, so under $5. I grabbed it just because I'm a Red Sox fan and I know those jerseys go for a lot, and Carlton Fisk is a legend around here, so I grabbed it. And I was really excited when I came home and ran comps that not many were available, and those that were available were over $100. So that's what I listed it for. It has been sitting for a while, I would say 6 or 7 months on this one, but I did receive an $80 offer and I was so excited. You'll notice that a fair percentage of my sales that are above $50 in the month of May are from men's items. You know, we're talking about maybe 30 or 40% of the items that are in this higher price bracket are men's items. However, you'll see men is maybe like 10% of my sales. When I do sell men's stuff, it seems to go for a higher price. So that is something to think about, at least with my experience. Okay, so I have 2 more items. The next one is one of the most favorite things I've ever sourced, just because I thought these were so cool. I found these at Goodwill in Worcester, and they were just very unassuming. They weren't marked up. They weren't in their boutique section. I think I paid under $7 for these. Bosabo, B-O-S-A-B-O, definitely European brand. These were calf hair camo clogs, and they were new. I mean, they had never been worn before. Absolutely beautiful. I could not find a single comp. I found a similar pair, but they were more like mules. They weren't clogs. and they weren't on, like, they were just for sale. So no sold comps on these whatsoever. I priced them at maybe $119 and I received a $95 offer for them. I was really excited. Whoever got these, I hope they love them. They were absolutely beautiful. I love camo. The clogs were so beautifully made. They were just gorgeous, gorgeous. And I think the pictures came out really good too, which always helps a sale. I was really happy to see those go, so $95. Okay, so the one item that sold for over $100 for me this month, I actually lost money on. So it's ironic that I'm going to say, ooh, I sold this item for $130, and then you'll hear the background story for it. So this absolutely beautiful Coach leather belt bag, this pebbled leather. I have a very good friend, hi Rita, if you're watching, who had purchased this and then lost her receipt and she couldn't return it. So she said, do you think you could sell this online? So I said, well, I could try. I don't really sell consignment, but she's a very good friend. So I decided to take it. She paid full price. I want to say that the price tag on this was over $200. I had it listed for $199 for so long, and I had probably 75 likes on it. I had sent offers out. I finally relisted it after months and months, and then I ended up finally getting a $130 offer. This is definitely a buy, Felicia. Even though it was my highest priced item of the month, this sat around forever and it stressed me out because I had money in it. I can't remember exactly what went down, but I think Rita just wanted it to be like a clean swap. So I gave her like $90 or $100 for the bag. And then that was it, because I thought, well, I just want to recoup my costs. And then I sold this for $130. And then after fees, I basically broke even or lost money, however you want to look at it. I did not make any money off of this bag. A very long-winded story to tell you. I made no money on this beautiful bag, even though it was my highest priced item. So bye, Felicia. That bag is gone, and we are moving on to my next category. Sometimes you have those items that kind of haunt you, and usually the ones that haunt you are the ones that you spend a lot of money on. So keep that in mind when you're shopping retail arbitrage, which I've been doing for quite a bit. In fact, this like caftan I bought, I'm so in love with it. I got it at TJ Maxx and it's Johnny Was. I love it so much. But some of these pieces that I've been picking up at TJ Maxx on these sales have been high ticket items. So I'm really keeping my fingers crossed that they sell. You have to be really careful when you shop retail arbitrage. But anyways, I digress. Since we just mentioned Buy Felicia when we were talking about that Coach bag, why don't we shift into my Buy Felicia category? These are the items that have been around way too long or have caused me stress, and I'm just so happy that they found a new home. This Lush blouse from Nordstrom. So Lush is sold at Nordstrom. This was one of my very first purchases in August of 2018 when I started reselling on Poshmark. I say this all the time, I'm like a broken record, but if you see the brick background, you know it's from 2018. I used this background for under 2 months in the month of October. And if you ever see something with a brick background in my store and you're interested in it, I will probably accept your offer. I wanted to feature this, one, because it had a brick background, but two, because Lush is not a brand I would pick up at Savers anymore. I thought this was cute. Maybe it was $4 or something at Savers, and I picked it up a long time ago. Lush is a brand that I might pick up at the bins, but probably not unless it's really trendy and cute, or unless I'm planning on bringing it to a consignment store or something to that effect. So this sold for $11. Say it with me. Bye, Felicia. Goodbye. The next 3 items, the only other 3 items that I'm going to talk about in this video, unless I find something else, are all jeans. So I went through a phase where I was just picking up jeans, picking them up, whether I thought they were a good deal at Savers, whether I found them at the bins, I was buying jeans. And some of those jeans have just sat forever. And I'm going to start with this brand. Okay, so ironically, these I actually did pretty well with. These are Ditto, D-I-T-T-O, cargo jeans. I probably looked up the comps on them, but these were really cute. I liked the style. Sometimes they're just small sizes that sit around for a while, but these jeans were really cute. They've been around for a while though. And they finally sold for $25, and I was just really happy to see them go. The other two jeans that I'm going to talk about are both really good brands. So the first brand are these Hudson size 25 gray skinny jeans. So one, they were gray. I'm not really picking up colored denim anymore unless it's an exceptional brand and it's very current and the comps are good. But gray is one of those neutral colors, so it's not like picking up a pair of red jeans. It's still pretty neutral, but I'm still trying to just stay away from colored denim. And they were size 25, so they were hard to move, right? Because 25 is a little size. They ended up selling for $20. They were definitely a buy, Felicia. I tend to do better with Hudson jeans in larger sizes or that have that classic Hudson flap on the back pocket. I just couldn't wait to see these go. So bye, Felicia. I hope whoever has them loves them. The last pair of jeans I'm going to talk about were a surprise because I was so thrilled when I find these. I still would be excited to find these. But these Mother high-rise jeans, I believe I found these jeans at the bins in Queens in New York City. November or October of 2019. They had a tiny little paint mark on them. I had all these great intentions of bleaching them and making them unique and one of a kind, which I never got around to doing. So anyways, I had them listed like in the $70+ range for a long time. And they've just been sitting there. I have Rag & Bone and Mother and Frame jeans that have been sitting forever. So comment below. Let me know how you do with those brands. Even Madewell. I sent out some really aggressive offers today on some Madewell jeans because certain brand jeans sit forever. And then, I get American Eagle jeans and I buy them at the bins and they flip for $25 in like a month or two. So it really makes me pause and say, am I crazy to be holding out or really seeking these really high-end jeans that I'm going to want to sell for like $100 or $75 and then they sit forever? Or am I better off picking up Old Navy jeans and Loft jeans and American Eagle jeans that I can flip for $20, $25? I mean, this is a constant struggle as a reseller. Would you agree? Do I get those small brands that flip fast or do I hold out for the high-end brands? And as with anything with me, I live my life in the gray area. So I have both. I have the ones that I get at the bins that I'm happy to get $20 for. I have the ones that I'll pay up for, and then I sit on them and hope that they're going to give me a really good return. But anyways, I found it ironic that 3 out of my 4 Buy Felicias were in the jeans category. I also sold a lot of jeans this month, so I'm not complaining. It's just interesting. Let's move on to a new category. Let's move on to surprises. I only have 3 items in this category, but they're kind of fun surprises. The first one was that I sold this Baby It's Cold Outside t-shirt for $10. This was definitely a bins pickup. I'm not a big ugly sweater person, but I will buy holiday themed stuff at the bins. It's really the only place that I'll pick it up unless it's exceptional or unless it's really cheap elsewhere. But this I'm pretty sure was a bins pickup. It sold for $10. I was like, sure, take it. It is warm and it's May, and if you want a Baby It's Cold Outside, I am more than happy to sell it to you. This next item that I want to talk about is a Fila skirt. The reason I want to talk about this is because it sold for full price. I got this at the bins, I'm sure, but it's just this really cute gray Fila, which is sold at Kohl's. I know it's sold at Kohl's. I'm sure it's sold elsewhere, but it sold for a full price of $24. Now, I think I probably expected to sell this for about $15. And I also think I pass on a lot of brands that aren't Lululemon or Aloe or Beyond Yoga or Athleta. I do love Yogalicious and I do pick that up because that's a personal favorite. But in general, I don't pick up a lot of athletic gear that is outside of those brands. So I was really surprised that this sold for full price. It wasn't a huge sale, but let me know how you do with off-brand, like yoga brands. Like how do you do with like lower end yoga brands. I'm just curious. And then the last thing that sold from this category that surprised me, it didn't really surprise me because it was getting a ton of attention. But this was actually my husband's, and I think my mother-in-law bought it for him on a trip to Disney. But it was a Figment t-shirt from Disney World. They no longer have the ride that's associated with Figment anymore. My husband had the shirt, he had never taken the tags off, he had never worn it. I do pick up Disney stuff, and especially if it is from the Disney parks. If it's just Disney brand, unless it's super cute, I never say never because there are always exceptions. However, I typically don't pick up Disney stuff unless it's from the parks or unless it's vintage or there's something unique about it. So when I looked at the comps on this Figment t-shirt, they were pretty good. I think I listed it maybe $49 and it ended up selling for $42. $42 for a t-shirt is pretty good in my book. Another item that I just sold from Disney, it will be in my June sales, but it was given to me by my friend, and it was a tie-dye Spaceship Endeavor t-shirt. So it had the spaceship on the front. A lot of people were marketing it as a vintage shirt, but mine wasn't vintage. But anyways, it sold for $40. So it's two Disney shirts, one in the month of May, one in the month of June, that sold for over $40 or over. So definitely keep your eyes open for those unique pieces that you can make some money on. The last category I'm going to talk about today are items that were fast flips. I have just a few fast flips that I wanted to highlight. But fast flips are items that sell in under a week for me. So I always like mentioning them because they give you an indication of what things are pretty hot. Sometimes it's just all about timing, that you happen to list an item that's at the right place at the right time. I say this all the time. I've sold several Gunny Sacks dresses, and one I listed for $149 and sold in 10 minutes. It was just the right place at the right time for the right buyer and the right size. Then I had another one that was like so similar in a different color, and it sat for 10 months and ended up selling for $99. So you just never know. Sometimes it's timing, but usually if something sells really fast, it's a hot item. One of the things that sold really fast was from my own collection. Bike shorts are big right now, which I'm kind of glad because like the little booty shorts just don't work on this body anymore. So I love that like the longer bike shorts are back, and I've been loving, I just bought a pair recently and I've been riding with them. So it's been really great. But anyways, these Lululemon bike shorts that were mine, they sold for $35 in a day, maybe two. I think I listed them at $45. Maybe I sent out offers or I listed them at $42. You can get new bike shorts on the Lululemon website for like $58. So I didn't price them too high. They sold very fast. And what was unique about these is they had like a little bit of ruching detail on the side. They were really cute, but they were a little low-waisted for me, which is why I ended up selling them. The next item that sold that was a really fast flip, got a lot of attention. When I ran the comps, I kind of knew it might be a hot item, but it was this Kate Spade iPad or tablet case. And I think it said like all in a day's work, and it was this little beach scene, really cute. I want to say I paid $3 for this at a Savers or a Goodwill, and I had planned to keep it. And I did keep it for a while, but I noticed that I was using my other tablet case more than I was using this that had a magnetic closure, and it was just like easier to get in and out of. So I finally decided to sell it and list it, and I priced it pretty competitively, but I believe I received an offer on this for $45, and it was a really quick flip and a really big profit since I only paid $3 for it. So I was really excited about that. This next item that has been in my death pile for a while, I got either last fall or last spring at this huge yard sale that takes place down the street. It's like a multi-family yard sale that I hit whenever they have it, and I think the family's moving, so I'm sad. But I got this beautiful J. Crew seahorse necklace. I paid $2 for it. It was really heavy and beautiful when I purchased it. I definitely featured it in a haul video, but it needed a little bit of a repair. I just had to take like pliers and squeeze a part of the chain to keep it intact. Absolutely beautiful. Some of the comps were really high on this, but again, I listed it because I'm trying to just move things. So anyways, I listed it maybe $50 or $60. I received a $40 offer within a week on it, and that sold pretty quickly. The last item I am going to talk about is actually 3 items that sold in a bundle, but it sold really fast. I had done some retail arbitrage shopping at TJ Maxx, and 2 out of the 3 items were from that haul. I always pick up miracle suits whenever I can find them at a good price. Miracle suits are always priced at over $100. In this case, this one was like $156 or $158. I paid $20 and I listed it for $85. So I'm still listing it almost 50% off the retail, and it still gives me some wiggle room for negotiation. So the person who bought this put the miracle suit in a bundle and also these Yogalicious camo pants. I paid $12 for these. The price tag on the pants I think was $89, and I think I listed them at $45. I actually just bought another pair of those pants in a slightly different camo print because I love them. They're so soft, they feel like Align pants, and the quality is great in my opinion, and I can always pick them up for a good price at TJ's. And then I had this Patagonia hat. I bought it on Black Friday. I bought 2. I sold the other one, and the other one was just sitting around. I think I thought one of my kids was going to take it, and then they never did. So I finally listed this Patagonia hat. Anyways, this person bought 3 retail arbitrage pieces, all new with tag. So in total, my cost, the miracle suit cost me $20, the Patagonia hat cost me $12, and the Yogalicious pants cost me $12. So $44 is what my cost was on this bundle. I wanted to feature this because I think it's interesting to just know what profit margins and how much they can vary. So I was in this for $44. I went back and forth, but we landed on $115 for this bundle. So after Poshmark took their 20%, so they took 20 and then 20% of 15, say they took $23, I just about doubled my money on this. And it was a really fast flip. So that was really nice. I always love to recover my money from retail arbitrage purchases because it's a higher price point. So I love to move retail arbitrage pieces. It was a nice chunk of money, $115. It got rid of 3 retail arbitrage things. I made my money back and I doubled it. So that was great. All right, so now let's look at some of the overall numbers. My top selling category this month, which is not untypical, was tops. So I think they give me my net on this seller insight. My net for my sales on tops was $278. Shoes was my second category, and my net was $233.63 on shoes. I love picking up shoes. I have a bins haul that's going to be out this week, and I picked up some shoes. Your return on investment on shoes, especially if you're buying them at the bins, is just so good if you buy the right shoe. So $233.63 on shoes, and then jeans, I netted $189.87. So those are my top 3 categories: tops, shoes, and jeans. I just want to give a little disclaimer here. When Poshmark added the feature, the private feature where you can add your cost of goods and other information, I started to add what I paid for items. So when Seller Insight gets that information, they're going to see what I paid for items, and then they're going to deduct Poshmark fees, and then they will deduct what I paid for it to then give me what I netted off of that. But that is just since that feature was added to the Poshmark app. Not all of my stuff has what I paid for it. So I don't know if nothing's written in there. If Seller Insight counts that as 0. I don't know how they figure that out. So those categories might be a little skewed. I think it's safe to say that my top selling categories were tops, shoes, and jeans, but the number that I netted is what is a little bit tricky. Like for example, when I looked at brands, which I'm going to talk about next, Seller Insight told me that I made the most profit on Coach, because it said I made $99, which would have been my profit from that $130 sale, but I must not have put in what I paid for that bag. So actually, I didn't make any money on that bag, and they had it as my top selling brand. So even with these apps, when they're fun and insightful, you have to do your own investigating sometimes to see if the numbers are really telling the story about your sales. I ended up eliminating Coach as anything that made me money because that was the only Coach item I sold in the month of May, and I made no profit on it. So I took that away right away. But then the other 4 brands that did well for me was True Religion. I sold 2 True Religion pieces, one at $45, one at $75. I can't remember what I paid for the jeans, but I know the sweatpants that I sold, I paid like $4 for. So, and I sold those for $45. So that was a good sale. The next brand that came up was Spiritual Gangster. Spiritual Gangster was the brand of the Peloton sweatshirts that I sold. I also want to note that Spiritual Gangster removed my listings even after they were sold. They removed them for using stock photos. So just be careful if you're using stock photos. They were on top of that, and I got 2 infractions for using stock photos for the same image that had already sold. So be really careful. I have 1 more of those sweatshirts, but I can't copy and relist because I have to do the whole listing again because I can't even access it once it's pulled down. So just beware. And I know there are certain brands that really are strict about using their images. The next brand, that was one of my top selling brands, was Anthropologie, no surprise there. And then lastly, Lululemon. I think I sold 5 Lululemon pieces. I sold 4 Anthropologie pieces, 2 True Religion, and 2 Spiritual Gangster. So Anthro and Lulu are usually in my top brands every month. The other 2 were new this month. This is what kills me because I don't really pay attention to how long I've had stuff, unless of course it has a brick background or I remember specifically when I buy it. I don't relist a lot, although now that Poshmark has that copy feature, I anticipate I will be relisting a lot more. I have been relisting a lot more. But my average days listed, are you ready for this? 190 days. And that is because I have those By Felicia pieces that I've had for like 600 days. So some of you may think I'm crazy for not paying closer attention to that. I tend to just have the outlook that I'm just going to keep on moving forward. I'm not so worried about space. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of space. And I think if you lack space, you have to be much more on top of your inventory and what you're going to choose to store in your home before letting it go, donating it, consigning it, sending it to ThreadUp. So space is not a huge issue for me, so I tend to accumulate a lot, which is a whole separate problem I have to be aware of. But anyways, 190 days, which is crazy. So I really have to work on trying to get that number down. That's definitely a goal of mine. Okay, everyone, I think that wraps up this What Sold video for the month of May 2020. I hope you found some of this information helpful. Please remember to give me a thumbs up on your way out, and please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I really appreciate it. That's it. So be on the lookout this week for a Goodwill outlet haul. I picked up 28 pounds in New Hampshire, and I have over 40 pieces to share with you. I'm also going to be heading out shopping just about every day this week, at least 3 or 4 days this week. So I will take you along with me. So tune back in on Wednesday, maybe even sooner. I'm going to try this week to have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday video, but don't hold me to it, but definitely Wednesday and definitely Sunday. Thank you everybody for joining me today. I hope your sales in May were great, and I hope June is off to a strong start. I will be back real soon. Thanks again so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I love you. Take care. Bye.